everyone. This section describes the operation of 200 and CTMC series PLCs as a Profinet slave to communicate with Siemens PLC. New project. Set the project name and select the storage path. Insert PLC site. Select PLC type and set site name. Establish communication with PLC. Double-click on Hardware Configuration. To open the Hardware Configuration screen, double-click on CPU 200 in the rack. Enable Profinet bus and set the product name. Save hardware configuration and close the window. Double-click on the system block for PLC IP settings. Download configuration to PLC and run PLC. Create a new project in Protherm software. Open the project screen. Select Add New Device. Add the PLC model used. Add the description file of the Profinet slave device. Just select the folder where the description file is stored. Tick the descriptions you want to add and install them in the software. Find the corresponding Profinet slave in the hardware directory on the right and add it to the hardware view. Connect the slave to the Profinet port of the master. Set the slave name in the slave properties screen to the same name as you just set in the P200 hardware configuration. Set the IP address of the master to be in the same network segment as that of the slave in the PLC properties screen. Double-click to open the slave's hardware configuration screen. Configure the slave data area and start address to be read, written by the master. This is an example of configuring the V-zone. Input master reads slave data. Output master writes data to slave. Read 16 consecutive bytes of V area here. Write data from master to slave. This writes 16 consecutive bytes of data to the slave's V region. You can set the start address of the slave's V area to be read under start address in the data area properties, and the start address of the slave V area to be written too. The master's IQ start address can also be changed. Adding iZone and QZone data types to the PLC data types. Click Default Variable Table to associate the data of Zone I and Zone Q, created earlier with the Variable Table. Create a DB block to associate with variables. Transfer the whole DB by move instruction in the program. Transfer DB areas to Q areas and I areas to DB areas. Download project to PLC. Monitor the slave status table and master DB blocks to check whether the data is read or written successfully. About the operation of 200 and CTMC series PLCs as Profinet slaves to communicate with Siemens PLC. The above is all. Thank you.